Hello and welcome to Book Royalty. I'm Ramsey and today I wanted to recommend my favorite series, so let's get started. So yes, I am wearing the same shirt, dress type thing, but that's because I'm filming it on the same day and honestly I don't feel like changing shirts, so can we just get over this? First off, I'm going to recommend my favorite series of all time, and that would have to be the Percy Jackson The Olympian series by Rick Riordan, or Riordan, my favorite author, still can't pronounce his name. But anyways, this series is so good, and I'm sure you know what it's about, but if not, it follows a boy named Percy who is 12 years old, and he finds out that his father is actually a Greek god, and he goes to this amazing camp. He makes a whole bunch of friends, learns to battle, goes on epic quests, and I get this warmth in my chest just even thinking about this series. And I mean, anyways, I really highly recommend this series for you, and if you have doubts about it, because in the first book Percy is 12 years old, don't worry about it because it matures as it goes, just as Harry Potter does. And I read this series when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, or I started to read the series in 5th or 6th grade, and I've loved it ever since. My favorite series, and I just really highly recommend it. This is still considered almost the same series because it's like a spin-off continuation, but it is the Heroes of Olympus series, again by Rick, and this is just, again, a continuation. Percy and a couple other characters from the original series are in this, and this series I adore so much, so definitely check both of these out. I would recommend reading the PJO series before reading this, but you can also do it either way, but you will understand a lot more if you do read the first series beforehand. Like, absolutely no shocker to anyone, but that would have to be the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, and this is also one of my favorite series, and I'm sure you know what it's about. It's about a boy named Harry Potter. That's all you really need to know. And this series I read in August to October-ish of 2013. I was a little late on the bandwagon, but nonetheless, I just adore this series, and it's fantastic. And if you haven't read it yet, please do, because this is just so great, and I know a lot of people like rave about it, but just please give it a chance. It gets better as it goes, you know, just like the Percy Jackson series, it matures as Harry gets older, just as Percy gets older, and just please check this out. Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, and I do have the series. It's just up on one of my high shelves, and I really don't feel like getting a stool at the moment, so I'm sure you know what it is, but it's about this girl named Clary who gets dragged into the shadow hunting world, which is basically people that hunt demons and such, and it's a really great series. It's not done yet, it's still continuing, and anyways, I highly recommend that series. It's by Cassandra Clare, if I haven't said already. And then we have The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and this is only the first book in the series. The second one is being released later on this year, but this book has been around BookTube for a while now. But if you don't know what it's about, it follows this girl named Cassie, short for Cassiopeia, and the world is kind of being attacked by aliens, and it's not like your average aliens. These ones are very intelligent, and they strike in 5 waves, and they're during the 5th wave right now, and a lot goes on. There's multiple points of views, and the writing of this book is so interesting, and I just highly recommend it. Wow, this was such a good book. It took a while to get into, but once the pace picked up, it was fantastic. The Divergent trilogy by Veronica Roth, and I'm sure you know what this is about as well, because there is the movie that is currently in theaters right now, but if you don't, it's about this world which is kind of futuristic Chicago, in which they're split up into 5 factions, and you take a test and you get put into a faction based on whether you're intelligent, whether you're selfless, that kind of thing. And Divergent basically means that you fit into more than just one of those categories, and our main character is Divergent, shocker, and a lot goes on, and it's a really great series. There's 3 books in it. I highly recommend you read it. It's action-packed, sad at sometimes. Allegiant. And then, but anyways, it's great series. Just read it, please. The last series that I would like to recommend is the Across the Universe trilogy by Beth Revis. And this series just blew my socks off. It follows this girl named Amy who is aboard this spaceship called Godspeed, and basically her and a couple, like 100 other humans, have been frozen on the spaceship to be on the bottom level, and they're going to be unfroze once they reach this new planet that they're going to inhabit. And there's people that actually live above the ship, so they can have people that can pilot it, and they have generations going on upstairs and everything. And Amy gets unfrozen somehow, and it's her waking up, and it's just a lot goes on. And there's so much stuff that goes on. There's mystery, there's action, there's romance. I don't think there's much comedy in this, but nonetheless, it's such a great series and it's brilliant. So I would highly recommend this. At least we have the Shatter Me series by Dr. Mafi, and this series follows a girl named Juliet who's been locked up because her touch is lethal, and that basically means she can kill you by touching you with her bare hands. And the government, called the Reestablishment, comes to her and tells her, "We would like to use you as a weapon against any rebels." And it has to go through this process in which, a lot just happens to her. It's a great trilogy. The first book's not as good as the other two, so just push through it. And once you get to the third book, called Ignite Me, is like one of my favorite books of all time now. So just work your way through it, and I truly did enjoy this trilogy, so I recommend it. But we have Cinder, or the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, and this series basically follows a girl named Cinder. Well, there's multiple characters, like each book is about a different character, but they all interloop with each other. But the first book, Cinder, is about a girl who's a cyborg in New Beijing, and she's actually based off of Cinderella, and she falls in love with Emperor Kai, and just a lot goes on in this series as well, and I just adore this series so much, and I highly, highly recommend it. It deals with future, like the future, space. There's, it's kind of like a dystopian in a way, but nonetheless, it's really great. So those were some of my favorite series. If you have any that you really enjoyed and would recommend to anyone in the comment section, or even to me, just put them down below and I will be sure to read them and hopefully check out some of those books. But thank you for watching. Yeah.